What up everyone, it's SEOnn the producer. Yeah, hope your day is going well. In this video today, I'm gonna be showing a few of the presets I use on Garageband. I use Garageband for iOS and iPad, so the sounds you see on one will be there. Let's get to it. Wish. For the production I do, there's four main components. There's drums, there's bass, there's melodies, and then there's vocals. I'm going to see how far I can get to on most of these presets, yeah? But I'm only going to give about 5 of each of them. Let's go. Okay, starting out, we're going to go into GarageBand, and we want to look at the drum presets. Now, the standard ones that come with GarageBand, they're okay, but they aren't the ones I usually go to. Especially because it defaults to the modern 808 sound, which for me isn't really the best sound to illustrate all this. So what I like to do is I just go select a drum. I use the beat sequencer a lot of times whenever I'm trying to make a drum. The electronic kits are the ones I mainly use. First of all, we've got Dark Hearts. Dark Hearts is a really good kit if you're trying to make some killer 808 and kits, some killer trap beats. The next one I use is the Drambo. The Drambo preset, I use it whenever I'm trying to make a bit of like Afrobeat, Latina type of beat. I still stack a bunch of the Dark Hearts on it. If you watch my previous video, yeah, you can actually see me making use of the Drambo in one of the kits there. This is from the Garbageband Latina pack. So you can always download the pack directly in GarageBand by just navigating through the window there. I'll show you in a bit. The next one I want to say is the deep bass house. The deep bass house is what I use if I'm trying to make some sort of dance kit. You can find this directly from the Chromium Free pack. The next kit I would actually put here would be the vintage beats. This is when I want to make a lot of like lo-fi retro type of sounds here. I really love the way the kick and the snare play in this particular sound pattern. So it's definitely worth a look if you're looking to make simple old school retro type of beats. So check it out. Last but not least, I go into the acoustic. My go-to would be the Sunset drummer, but I've also used the Retro Rock. And I believe Pete Jones likes the Bluebird drum kit. I don't know, I've never really used too much of the acoustic drums for my style of production, but it is worth a look if you're looking for something of that nature. Alright, let's switch on over. We're going to work on bass. So for the bass sounds, I know when you scroll through GarageBand, there's a section that says bass. This is good if you want to make those intricate lines or you want to slide and have those specific movements. But personally, I don't use this a lot because I find it easier to just play it using the keyboard. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So to find the bass sounds, what you want to do is go back into the main categories. This is where you see all the sounds that are there. And you can actually scroll down and get to other. From other, you're going to see quite a few of the bass sounds. 2 sounds here I use for bass. Mainly the Liverpool bass. and the upright. So these are acoustic bass sounds. So they get to the point of trying to make natural sounding bass lines. I've sometimes used the muted one in place of Liverpool if I felt like it was too strong. But nowadays I just default to Liverpool and trim it down a little using a few of the plugins like Attack Softener, Tone Bridge, and that's what's got me quite interesting bass sounds. The other basses I use would be on the synth bass pack. If you check out the deep house bass. So let's get some earphones on this. The deep house bass is such a heavy bass line that if you need something to fill in a lot of space, this is the bass line I would use. There is also another bass here. If I go directly into the Alchemist synth category and I go into the deep techno bass, this is good for some simple, plucky to the point bass lines like. Now, from the Flex and Flow pack, there was an 808 bass that was introduced. I thought the bass was a little bit weaker, so the 808 and the 808 mutation bass. What I did was I added an effect into this. So I went into plugins and EQ, and I added distortion. And then I cranked up the dress, so I turned it from this to. And that's the way to make thick bass lines. Alright, so we're done with bass yet. Let's move on into the melody. Now, melody is one of those parts that. Melody is diverse. You've got a lot of different sound structures. There's many ways to express a melody idea that yeah, you can't really just summarize it in one. For me, melodies could include lead, they could include chords, they could include arpeggiators, they could include sequences. I still go directly into the keyboard section for a lot of melody lines I do. And I start with the basic one, piano, the classical grand piano. It's a simple sound that gets me exactly what I want. If I need a bass, I just use the lower octave on it. And if I need a lead, I use the higher octave on it. So the classical grand, once I have a good idea of the song I'm making, then yeah, I can switch out the sounds later. But the classical grand is my favorite one to get started. Sometimes what I do is I add a little bit of reverb to make it a little bit more organic. Without reverb, with reverb. Or if I really want to crank it all the way, I can add something like black hole reverb, turn off the auto reverb, and it gives it that weight of a sound. Something else I actually do is use tone bridge. On tone bridge, I specifically use the Air of the G string preset by Johann Sebastian Bach. It makes the sound into this old school timey feel like. If you slap in some reverb, that's just ways I use the classical grand. There's other sounds I can use as well. Aurora over iSound is one of those mellow ones. But sometimes I'd go into mallets. This is all from the Alchemy Synth section of Garageband, so you find all these ones. I can use the Etero pluck. From the mallet section, there's this sound called Sweet Bell. So these are a few of the sounds I tend to use frequently on my device. And part of the reason why I wanted to do this video was because, one, it gives a good idea of, okay, there's a lot more great sounds out there. A lot of all the sounds just came by experimentation and just checking through to see what exactly was out there. And I think I want to do the same thing. There's a few more applications I want to take a look into. Gadget 2 is one of them for sure. Zenbeats is another one. Yes, I might even look into Cubasis. I haven't even done my list for Groovebox yet. I actually saved quite a lot of sounds there that I think it's time I start looking through them and finding out which ones are the ones I use the most and saving it. Nano Studio 2, oh boy, that's another one I gotta look into. And maybe eventually I'll get into Koala, Sampler, and Drambo. But I still want to have a look at these apps yet. Anyways, hope this video was helpful. Take it easy. Whoosh.